Hey guys, Alex here from the Nerd Geek Network, and welcome to the second episode of Fancasting Legend of Zelda. Today, we are fancasting characters from Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom for a Zelda movie. Last time we casted Link, Zelda, King Rom, Impa, Pura, Mipha, Daruk, Rivali, and Urbosa. Today, though, we are casting Rauru, Sonia, Tulin, Yunobo, Sidon, Riju, Minoru, and of course, the villain, Ganondorf. So, yes. Let's start off with Rauru. King Rauru is the first king of Hyrule. When Zelda goes back to the past and meets him and his wife Sonia, Rauru is kind of this wise man. He definitely needs to have that calm and wise demeanor to him. And that is why I went with James McAvoy, who I know best for his role as Professor X in the X-Men movies. But he's also played some other really great roles like Bill Denbrough in It Chapter 2 and I forget his name in the first Narnia movie, but I think he would be a great Rauru, so that is why I went with him. Next, we have Queen Sonia. This one was a little more difficult. She has to have that soft-spoken nature that she has in the game. She has to definitely be able to have a good bond with Zelda. She definitely has that softer vibe, though. So I decided to look for someone who can play soft, yet can also play a little bit of a badass, because she kind of does have that. She is, of course, has time powers, so yes. I ultimately went with Emilia Clarke, I think. I think she'd do a really good job in this role. I know her best for her role as Kira in Solo and her role as in Secret Invasion. I'm forgetting her character name. But I know people would also mention her role in Game of Thrones, which I have not seen, but I've heard she's really good in that too, so yes. But yeah. So Emilia Clarke is my choice for Sonia. Next up, we have the sages. We'll start with Tulin. Tulin's the youngest character in this game, pretty much. He needs to have that youthful energy, but that also that he has to have that kind of little bit of arrogance to him, you know. He's always flying in headfirst to danger when he really shouldn't, when he should think twice sometimes, but you really have to have an actor who can do that. And for that, I picked Jet Klein, who plays Tommy Maximoff in WandaVision. He did a really good job with that role, I think. So yes, I think Jet Klein would be a fantastic Tulin. Next up, we have Yunobo. Now, this one was a little difficult for me. Yunobo has to have that goofy nature, yet he also has to be, powerful, you know? I just consider him to be one of the more powerful sages in the game. But yes, so I'd consider him probably the sage I've used the most, honestly, other than Tulin and Riju, so I'd say he's in the middle of the of the five sages on how much I use them, so yes, but he has to have that powerful nature, but also that silly nature, that goofy, young nature, you know, so the choice I ultimately went with was Joshua Orpin, who plays Superboy in Titans. He definitely knows how to do that nature that I'm talking about, as he's shown as his role as Connor Kent. But yes, that is who I chose for Yunobo. Next up, we have Prince Sidon of the Zora. Prince Sidon, he has to have this optimistic, extroverted nature to him. And this was I'm not going to lie when I say this one was a little more difficult for me to find. But I did land on the right actor in time. I think, though, that he was definitely a hard one to cast, though. But I ultimately came up with Nicholas Hoult as Sidon. I know him best for his role as Beast in the X-Men movies, but he's also played a lot of other roles. He was Renfield earlier this year, which I definitely looked as a good possibility for him as Sidon. But yes, I think he absolutely has the acting chops for Sidon. It's pretty much confirmed that he'll probably be playing Lex Luthor in Superman Legacy. But he definitely has the acting chops for this. So yes, Nicholas Hoult as Sidon. Next is Riju, Chief of the Gerudo. She needs to have the serious demeanor, but she also has to have that youthful energy to her. That youthful charm, you know. Now this one I had two possible choices for. One of my first choices here was Iman Vellani, who plays Miss Marvel, but I just don't think that was quite right, what I was looking for with her. She definitely has that charm, but I just don't think she's quite right for this role. My second choice is the one I went with, Maitreya Ramakrishnan. I personally have not actually seen Maitreya Ramakrishnan in anything other than her animated role in Pixar's Turning Red. But I know she's becoming a very popular young actress in Hollywood. I know she has that show on Netflix, Never Have I Ever, that I haven't seen, but I hear she does a really good job in that, acting-wise. And I have, looked up scenes of her in it just to be sure that she can do Riju, and she definitely has the young, energetic charm I need to see in Riju. So yes, I'd put Maitreya Ramakrishnan as Riju. Next up is Minoru. Minoru is the ancient sage of spirit. She is kinda she's a difficult one to cast because this one, I don't know if they'd be able to get her with how little of a speaking role Minoru really has at all. And besides, she's pretty much a robot the entire game, never in her physical form. But I think Felicity Jones could play that physical form pretty well. But yeah, I think Felicity Jones could be a pretty good Minoru though, so yeah. And finally, we have our villain, Ganondorf. Ganondorf, King of the Gerudo. But yeah, he needs to have that strong, definitely needs a certain voice almost, you know? And that is why I chose Idris Elba as Ganondorf. I think he'd do really well in that role. He definitely has the voice for Ganondorf and the physique as well, so yes. But yeah, Idris Elba would be a fantastic Ganondorf, so yes. Anyway, guys, I might do one more video of recasting, or just casting, Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom. Basically just characters we didn't get to. Teba, Deku Tree, characters like that. Who else? Robbie, no, we did Impa. Josha, characters like those guys, so yes. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I definitely appreciate it. Leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.